All right, so we're going to be VOD reviewing MILFs today, or Man I Love Fwogs. It's frogs. It's basically frogs. They're probably, as Delta said, the top unsigned team right now. They're super good. We've played with Clefairy before. She's super nice. The entire team's great. They have struggled a little bit against, I would say, the top signed orgs like TSM and CLG. So we're gonna go through this VOD review, see like what they could do better, how they're maybe not adapting to the top teams so far, and really just see, if they're going to do better this coming tournament with the Sakura tournament. So this is against Built Butter. I haven't really seen them play before, but they're another women's team since this is the Sakura tournament. So right now, defense is going to be by Man I Love Fwogs, and we're on Ascent so far. This is going to be a best of one, but let's see how they really play Ascent because it's a very strat heavy map. So far it looks like they just are doing a pretty standard setup. They do have a breach, which is interesting. A lot of teams don't play this, but again, it can be really strong. And the Omen for their smoker. One thing, when I was doing the last VOD review on Tuesday, it seemed that Fwogs really didn't play a very active defense. It's one of my criticisms of a lot of different teams. And it looks like they're going for a similar set style here. You can see they're playing pretty far back on site. They're not putting too much pressure on mid, although a lot of teams don't do that. And these tripwires are very defensive tripwires. Like, the only time they're going to know that someone's here is when the site's already being executed on. Okay, one good thing about this is the way that Fwogs have played it so far is they've actually retained control of Tree Room. I think Tree Room is really big to have control of in order to try and execute onto this site. A little bit less so in Pistol Round because it's harder to just, when you don't have that sort of firepower, it's harder to really bust through this wall. But with this breach, it might be a little bit easier. Only 20 HP and one flash though, and they're playing across with Emily. Ooh. Okay. Wait, that was a really good break of the crossfire there. So this crossfire feels like it should pretty much be over and done, especially with this door down and the flash being so soon. Like, this flash is worn off by now, right? These players are non-flash and they have this alarm bot to them, but this Jet peeks out, Lori peeks out, gets taken out, and then Ellie Twitches just gets this free pick, and with 20 HP, just gets the headshot. That was just good trades all around, really. A clean retake. I would say probably should have used that breach flash a little bit later when the door is maybe already closer to being broken, but the trades are really good. They broke the crossfire really well, and then in the end they just got it. One good thing we saw is that they played really well as a team on the retake. They weren't going in all willy-nilly. They made sure they had a coordinated push from both sides to overwhelm the attack. Alright, full Spectres. No one's playing to wallbang B, really. They're just playing to play the site. They switch out the Cypher to the B side, something you don't see a lot of teams do, but I actually really like it because it's just kind of a read. Like, hey, a lot of teams, we just got rolled on A. Hey, let's go B. Maybe that'll work. It is a pistol round as well, so you don't really have... Like, you're not really expected to win it. If you all die, it's not a huge deal, This is like, okay, so I got the crossfire here, but this market smoke I feel like is pretty standard, and it really leaves Dinos here to kind of by herself. She could get that multi-frag kill because she has the superior firepower, but with Cypher playing for the site and this person playing market and probably going to get smoked off, I feel like I'd rather have Dinos, instead of playing over towards the switch, just play stairs, because you'll still get that like frag potential when they push into Speedway, and then if all else fails, you'll still be able to go back to the site, play with your Cypher, and hold down the site in and of itself. So I personally, I think send the Omen here, and it would have been a much better sort of like hold against the attacking side and maybe lose a few less guns. But I think in the end they only lost 2, as like Ellie just kind of runs through everyone. Yeah, so this is like no harm, no foul, but just a little bit of a positioning change I think would have been better. Because Dinos there also dying makes it so that Arasaka like is kind of left out on her own as well, except for her Ito. You can see like this Cypher is moving. Like this Cypher is not playing the same place twice, putting it towards mid here now to try and get some information. It's going to be towards another B push, and Dinos actually playing a little bit more far back. What's the buy looking like? Shorty buy in mid is interesting. I don't. Hopefully, like Arasaka, she gets somewhere because having this shorty in mid it's super risky. Dinos is also going to be on the go. So basically, B-side's super weak right now. Like, these three should be playing for basically a retake. And I can see what. It's good that they're playing like this. They know that most of their firepower on A, so they're just having really Arasaka to hold down mid with this shorty. And then they're essentially playing so that they'll retake on B. They're still sending Dinos there to, like, provide some pressure. But I don't think anyone really expects Dinos to hold down the site with just a ghost and an omen. One thing at the very beginning is that Arasaka here, a lot of people don't do this, and I'm not really sure why, but whenever you buy a shorty, you should really drop your shorty and keep your classic for the very beginning of the round. That way, if she's stuck in the scenario again, then she can just push out with the classic where she might be able to get more kills. You saw her had to run out with the shorty because, like, there's no way she's killing anyone from the positioning that she was at. So she could have just quick swapped to the classic. Maybe some people would have hurt her, but it still would have given her a better sense of, like, hey, I could probably get some sort of damage or maybe even a kill. And the thing with Dinos being here, I don't know if Dinos actually has a TP here. She actually goes to play back site, and this is also kind of a gamble. It's really like, hey, I have a ghost, like hopefully they don't check me and I can maybe get a kill. But really, I think she also could have just TP'd back if she had that TP to play with her team and then play for the retake. Because really, with a ghost against rifles, there's not a whole lot you're going to be able to do just by yourself unless they somehow don't check you, which they should in this tier of play. And then the last thing I want to say is that I think you always really need to hard clear garage now in team play, because like pretty much someone's always stacked here, especially when there's 5 people strong. You really won't see them only on the B site. If they are, I would say it's kind of an int, because on this bonus round you could just lock them in and try and get the guns out of their hands. And then the last thing I had here was that it's a 1 versus 3 against 3 rifles against a good team like Built Butter. I feel like at this point you're not really playing to win the round, you're just playing to get the guns out of their hands. And she also has this ultimate, the Rolling Thunder, and you could say like, hey, using the Rolling Thunder here is kind of an int, but okay, this is purely theoretical, but what I kind of wanted to see Ellie do here is that you don't have flashes. You're not really going to be able to entry onto the site, but your goal at this point is not to defuse the spike. Your goal is to get every single gun out of the hands of Built Butter, because if every single gun is gone, that's an easy next round for you. So just play down the time, use your aftershocks to try and bide them back. And since all 3 are on site, and I think Ellie knows all 3 are on site, you can use your aftershock to buy the time, and then the Rolling Thunder to keep them on the site so they die to the spike explosion. It's kind of like, it's hard to think of in the moment because, you know, like all this stuff is happening. But if like someone recognized that, it might have led to every gun going down on the side of Built Butter, and an easy next round is Fwogs would be able to buy up. So
Ellie has the trade back. She's late to the show, has her ultimate up, but
yeah, because like she's running through a one-way, there's really no way she gets out of this. Again, they send the Cypher somewhere else. I like the fact that Cypher is rotating, but you can see just how far back, like one thing that I saw a lot again is that Fwogs play really far back, and I feel like it kind of makes it harder for themselves. Their retakes are good, especially with this breach. Ellie switches on breach, but it allows for Built Butter to just kind of take space without using util, and that's util they can prevent you from getting onto the site. Like if they just put a little bit more pressure towards like mid or something. You saw last round, like, was it Diana just walked all the way through mid like it was nothing. Like there was really nothing stopping her. She have to use any util for it, I believe. So sending this back to the A side, and I like what they're kind of doing here. They're putting more pressure towards B main, because B main has been given to like Built Butter pretty much like every single round so far. So they're putting more pressure, going aggressive. This was great by like you don't get any kills here, but you got full B main control when everyone was here on the side of Built Butter. And this is your save round as well. So this is really good to take space away from them. This is a really small thing, right? Like a lot of teams like won't think about this, especially in the moment. It's hard to think about, but you have Dinos here as the one peeking, and you have your Jet who's sitting in the cupboard. You really want to switch the two because Jet can take this aggressive peek, dash out, and smoke, right? So she has a way to get out. And then the Omen in the corner also will have a way to get out with the teleport. So both of these players will be able to get out easier if they switch to his peeking. But since Dinos is the one who peeks, she, the one on the Omen, doesn't have like that dash or that quick getaway tool. And then Lynn just dashes in and tries to go for something or Bisclicks. So I kind of want to see both of them kind of swap their positioning there.
That was probably the best chance, and something here. Dash forward, actually, trying to face.
I can see Lynn just being like, hey, like like if I dash out, it's 4 people in my face anyway, so might as well go for it.
Flowerful does one better with the rifle. Alarm bot for the flank. Now this B site free. This B site heavily in the control. They have the Rolling Thunder again for this retake, but it would be an interesting call to use it. Just the Sheriffs.
That's unfortunate. I mean, it's a save round. It's not really expected for Fwogs to for MILFs to win. So yeah, just really wipes through. I like that they took space early, and then you know they made. I would say they made Built Butter sweat a little bit, but
instantly traded off from Built Butter. They were the better.
Well, that's going to do it for part 1 of this VOD review. If you really enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like and a subscribe, as it really lets me know what you guys enjoy. And we'll see you back here for part 2.